This is a tutorial about the Two of Wands decisions. Should I stay or should I go? One of the big meanings of the Two of Wands. A man stares out to sea behind a low wall. In his right hand, he's holding a globe, and in his left hand, a wand, which he places firmly upon the wall. The second wand stands behind him, bolted to the wall. The man has his back to the wand and appears much more interested in staring into the distance. He may be physically present as he stands surveying this domain and all that he's achieved, but in his mind, he may be thousands of miles away. By the style of his clothing and lavish surroundings, the man appears well off and quite comfortable. Because this man stands above the village below him, we must assume that he is in a position of power over those surroundings, his surroundings actually. And the one that's held firmly in the left hand is raised into a more superior position. The wand in his hand is the original Ace of Wands, the one that's reignited this desire and this passion. And he's holding on very tightly to this wand. He may have waited a long time for that original wand to land in his hand and to awaken his senses, so he'll be reluctant to let go of it or put it down. If he was totally free, he would have run with this wand as soon as he was given it. It's like the ace. He would have let it inspire him, motivate him, and carry him forth into his next set of action. Now, he believes this wand can take him to exciting places and greater achievements. He's standing as the ruler of his kingdom, but that might not be enough. The second wand, which is bolted to the wall, symbolizes that he has commitments at home and business projects, relationships, or family. He cannot just ignore them, and he can't just focus his attention on that which is his new novel prize. Or can he? The number 2 in numerology often deals with opposites, extremes, polarity, and the dilemma, as in which way to go. Should I stay? Should I go? Up, down, happy, sad? Those kind of decisions. And it's also dealing with the conflict of opinions and opposition. The Ace of Wands brought him a gift, an awakening, igniting his passions and interests. Not everybody might be enthusiastic about the potential of this Ace of Wands. It's in the Two of Wands that this man realizes that he must make a decision, and that he might be alone in his enthusiasm and desires. Does he please himself or others? Compromise is always going to be difficult in the twos when there is a natural inclination to want to get your own way. There is little middle ground in the Two of Wands. This low wall in this scene serves as a divider between the world that he's occupying physically and the outside world that he's been drawn into. The wand is the security and power he has built up in his life, because this man has not built his wall too high, for that would block his view of the outside world, which he absolutely loves, and make him feel claustrophobic and hemmed in. The Wand family like to move, and they've got a dread of being stuck or restricted in any shape, manner, or form. That man has left his wall low enough so that he can keep an eye on what's going on in the rest of the world, and then he can easily step over it should he decide that he wants to change location or escape. Look at the brown colouring of his overgarment. Now, this is symbolising the earth energies, commitments and obligations that bind him. His overgarment is brown, but His undergarment, boots and red hat, represent the energy of fire, which is making him restless. He's got the need for excitement, adventure and movement, and it's burning deep and consuming all of his thoughts. The cloak is part of what's holding him, but that can be easily taken away and cast aside when he does eventually decide to make his move. He's tied to his world by something or someone. This man would go wherever he fancies. The one that's bolted to the wall has some influence over his movements. This man has got to make a decision, and that decision might not be his entirely. Others might need to be consulted or taken into consideration. In his right hand, he's holding the globe, which represents his personal world, and the fact that he holds the globe firmly, this suggests that he's conquered the world and that he's got power over it already. However, the world that he's occupying appears to have become so small that he can fit it in his hand. He's staring at the globe, trying to find excitement and meaning. The wand in his hand is mobile and it's symbolic of the Ace of Wands. The other must stay behind, bolted to the wall. On the other hand, the man may be very happy with his own world, but he might be forced to consider leaving it due to matters that are outside his own control. But he's got to decide as to whether he's prepared to settle for a little or take the risk of leaving all he knows and loves in search of better, which might be career or financial prospects. This man appears to have everything, and he's probably very envied for his prestige and his position. But now he wants more, and something's telling him that he does not believe that it's going to be found at home. The walls of the castle that offered him security for so long now are probably hemming him in. He has outgrown his present circumstances and wants something different. Nothing's terribly wrong, but there's a strong sense of boredom here. And he's deciding whether he should stay in his safe, comfortable, but predictable place or go. I'm going to put some keywords up on the screen for you. The excitement and new experiences that this man seeks in this ace that he's holding in his hand might be found on foreign soil, because we're seeing him stare across the water. And he might be thinking about travelling far away from home and all that he knows connected with home. So patience is a virtue. That's not often found in the Wand family. Fire. They're like action, movement. When the Two of Wands appears, frustration and the sense of being trapped can be found. The Ace of Wands is burning a hole in his hand, and his feet are itching to move. He's standing there motionless. He's unable to move or do anything. He needs to think and make a proper decision, not a hasty one that he allows himself to take that time to deliberate over the pros and cons. The Two of Wands often represents being at a crossroads in your life and not knowing which direction you should take. The Wands family do not like to stand still for long. This is causing him frustration. The Two of Wands brings us the dilemma of a decision once more. This time, man may need to consider staying as he is. Maybe because he's the sole ruler of his domain. Or this decision is probably about joining forces with another. And this will represent one strong power partnering up with another. He might be weighing up the pros and cons of expanding this empire and giving a share of power to another. And so this partnership might indeed take him to new lands and even greater heights. but it will also bring restrictions. The man may simply be deciding to expand into the overseas market. We don't know. The bolted wand is secure and steady, so he does not have to worry about that. But he may travel or do some research before making his decision. Because the man appears to be standing still, we know his decision hasn't come out of the blue. He has been dwelling on this situation quite some time. It might take others by surprise when the Two of Wands appears that the figure that's represented in this card might have actually moved on some time ago, and they're just waiting for the physical self to catch up. The Two of Wands often brings that decision of whether to stay with what you're used to or to go in search of brand new experiences and a new way of life. And it can suggest that you are bored with your current life and they want more. On the outside, it appears you have it all and are very successful. But changes have been occurring inside for some time. You might have a plan or a burning desire to do something else. You might feel your fires have been burning low and need a new lease of life to change the scenery or the faces around you. And the Ace of Wands has fallen firmly into your hands and now you want to do something with it. You might have a wonderful opportunity to travel or doors may be open for you career-wise. The two is about being in two minds. The second wand in the Two of Wands suggests there's more than just you to take into consideration, and the decision that you need to make may affect others. So it might entail leaving someone behind or someone, because the less baggage that we have, the lighter we travel. This is one of those cards for highlighting sudden, unexpected actions or departures. And this can often cause turmoil and upset to those around because they've probably not been paying attention. And if they were, they would have seen that you're not entirely happy with your present circumstances. If it's in business, it might be a time to decide whether to expand into the international market. The Two of Wands stands for a very powerful position, and in business it's a really successful card with the desire for more success, because businesses can't just stand still like that one that's bolted to the wall. It's got to be constantly refreshed, updated and expanded. And that might involve the decision to join other big businesses or forming of partnerships that will actually yield bigger, better results and more profit. This guy values what he has and doesn't want to make a mistake. He wants to add to his experiences. It could take a lot out of him to bring this new idea to this current place once it's found. Or of course, he could move on, taking it with him. Either way, he wishes to explore his options and his potential, knowing that he's got that drive to achieve if he wants to aim for it. But first, a decision is needed. In numerology, the value of 2 is balance, harmony, and interaction. Let's just show you Thursday YouTube podcast. This is what you're looking for. That's the podcast, Learn Tarot, which is Thursday. And that is my playlist on my YouTube channel, Tarot with AnneMarie. In case you want to catch up with some more cards or want to know more, it's all there. The other thing I want to show you, PDF about keywords if you're interested, and it looks a bit like this. So I put it on the wand family so you can have a quick look. There you go. And it just goes on, and all 78 cards there. My keywords rather than the ones that you would probably find on the internet. They're the words I use as a professional tarot reader, but they're keywords to help you. Let's go back to how our figure is feeling. They'll be restless and there'll be an urge for movement and change. And so they've got a decision to make as to which path to take. They've got to work out whether they want to grow or develop. And do they want to expand into new areas? Potential needs action to see how far it can be taken. And so now it's about making sure that the grass is not greener on the other side and that you're balanced in your view of a new opportunity or a desire to create one. Two of Wands brings feelings of restlessness for change, for the desire to move on, a need for one's current situation to be looked at. And once we have been there, and it's more than an idea and it starts becoming real, you'll probably be called and it'll spark your interest to make your decision. You will probably wish to improve your situation and you understand more is needed to progress or succeed. This shows the journey of personal freedom, wishing for a new chapter in life. Equally, you might decide to stay and add more to what you already have where you are and leave behind a heading off to new shores or new goals or a new aspect of your life. Nobody likes change. It can be unsettling and it can be a risk. This card shows control over plans, deciding which direction to move in while you work out the pros and the cons. These plans are still in their developmental stage. And yet, they've not been put into action, and you're still in a point where you need to think about it a bit more before you act. So whatever your plans actually are, this card shows that you have all that you need to make a wise move and a very balanced choice. Direction is sought, and if ideas are to develop, they've got to progress, haven't they? So common sense and considerations will be needed for long-term success. So this means your comfort zone is going to be tested because avenues for continuation or change are going to be explored. And these risks will be known and felt, which propels the need for clear planning, as the drive to move forwards will be huge. So the Two of Wands represents the building and the growth of a new partnership, creativity, and a personal sign that you're doing really well, but there's plenty of room for you to grow and there's plenty of potential. And so the Two of Wands can represent house moves, moves to other countries, immigration, travel overseas. The Two of Wands card features this man standing on top of what looks like a castle. We don't know, but that's what it looks like. And he's holding that miniature globe in his right hand. This man looks down upon the vast terrain in which an ocean lies on the left side and land stretches off to the right. And the man's wearing an orange tunic and a red hat, which symbolises his enthusiasm for life, his hunger for adventure, respectively. The miniature globe in his hand represents expanding his reach to broaden his experience. The Two of Wands is a mature version of the Ace of Wands, about planning, progressing, and moving on to progression. If you've already set out to achieve a particular task, that means you've turned an idea into a realistic plan. And such a plan will require fulfillment. Therefore, you've got to progress from having the plan to achieving what you set out to do. And discovery is a very big key word for this card. It's considered another form of the Two of Wands meanings, because you are stepping out and looking at new experiences. While the beginning might seem really harsh, the Two of Wands keeps on going, push, strive forwards. So the Two of Wands card can also mean that you're beginning to realize that your objectives and long-term goals mean that you can set out and achieve them. And so you've strived to get where you are, and now you're moving forwards, and now you've got a long-term goal in mind. So in summary, the Two of Wands is revolving around making a decision. And if you're satisfied with your current knowledge, you'll stay. If not, you'll move forwards and take that risk. And it means leaving your comfort zone to explore new territory. Now, sometimes the one family is sometimes called rods or staves, and it represents our drive and action. And it's also about the enterprise of taking risks. And the two in Two of Wands, the suit, can sometimes be cross ones, depending on the image you're looking at. And that can imply deadlock, because the energies are working at cross purposes. And so this could refer to a bit of an internal split within you, duality of optimism, pessimistic parts of your psyche. Or it could be you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Or it could be a standoff with another person that's rubbing against your limitations and they're currently imposing on you. This card points to possibilities of maybe that creeping self-fear, self-doubt, the kind that arises in a situation where you feel I've bitten off far more than I can chew here. See, that's why you've got to give yourself time, look at the full implications of your current situation. You've got to find your bearings again before launching back into any action. Don't be fooled by the fact that this is like just the Ace of Wands. You're dealing with real concerns before they become regrets. The Two of Wands, if it comes up in your reading and it's in the Tarot's advice, tells you that you've got to have respect for yourself, to have the time to make that decision. Instead of criticizing yourself for decisiveness, appreciate your various implications and possible choices. Avoid pushing yourself to commit. Keep meditating, taking time out, watch the situation, look at the forces around you and the current background of facts and witness what's going on. At some point, you'll have enough information and the choice will be clear. If the Two of Wands comes up here, position in your spread about love, then the Two of Wands in this position indicates the need to get your bearings. Your path might seem unclear, and it's necessary to have new choices with every step. It's not a time to make do. That won't make sense, because that will produce some permanent consequences. So you've got to keep working it through this period of confusion, indecisiveness, insecurity with your potential partner or love interest. The uncertainty will pass and you'll see the big picture. If you're patient and sincere, the right path will be revealed. Don't rush it. If the Two of Wands comes up in your spread and it's in the career position, Two of Wands reveals a work group that needs to clarify its goals and to start looking at the smaller details. And that can be very frustrating to somebody who's an ambitious person, like our wand figure here. But it might be wise to accept the delay as part of the journey. Group members need to align with that highest common interest. So this might be caused by some unresolved issue or conflict that's given rise to feelings of anxiety. It's also about cultivating patience too, to manage your way through the current situations. The change can take time to reveal itself. Everyone at work knows the old way is over. The new one is not clear and needs time to be articulated. The Two of Wands is a yes or no reading. What would it mean? It's a yes. Because the Two of Wands is a card of vision and planning. And of course, action. Eventually, So if you're looking for a simple yes or no, as I said, it's a yes. Now the Two of Wands shows a man wearing that robe and holding a globe. And the robe can be cast off at any time, it's protection. And the world in his hands marks the enormous potential before him. He can expand his horizons accordingly. If he keeps standing within the confines of the castle, it suggests that this contemplating significant opportunities, he's not left his comfort zone yet to pursue them. He's still very much in the planning phase. His hands resting on the upright wand, and the second one's affixed to the castle wall, indicating he's not ready to venture out yet. In the background, that land's fertile, but also rocky. So in the background, that land's fertile, but rocky. He has a good chance of success so long as he can overcome the challenges that will arise, because they're there. So the Two of Wands takes inspiration from the Ace of Wands and turns it into a clear action plan. Now going through the discovery phase of knowing what you want to manifest, and you now need to figure out. So you're exploring your options, plotting the path, and accounting for all potentials that are challenging and all of the possibilities of growth. So you're open to growth and exploring new territories. And once you're certain, you'll know that your efforts will succeed because you wouldn't have made that decision unless you were certain. So when the Two of Wands comes up in a tarot reading, you're not always ready to move. It's important to have a clear plan before proceeding. The Two of Wands is about discovery, particularly as you step outside of that comfort zone and you start exploring horizons and new worlds and new experiences. And that takes a lot of courage to set out, but it also takes courage if you stay. So this card gives us the confidence of self-knowledge and self-awareness. You know what your goal is, and its eventual sort of fulfillment or lack of. So your intuition and your passion will guide you as it confirms your next steps. As I said, should I stay or go? The Two of Wands indicates that you're considering your longer term goals and are ready to plan for what you must do to achieve them. And you've come so far already, and you're ready for a change. But this time, this is about your long-term future. You might be contemplating overseas, travel, further education, significant careers, switching, or expanding the horizons beyond your immediate environment. And this is a card of setting yourself up for success, but with careful planning and a moderated approach. The twos in tarot represent decisions. You may choose between sticking with what you know or taking a risk. And you understand at this point, when you get this card, that the world has got something bigger or more meaningful to offer you. Yet you can also realise that you might be leaving behind your familiar ground to capitalise on this opportunity. Even though you've invested in your current circumstances, it's at times to explore options. If it's work-related, the Two of Wands may show overseas, progress with your career, pursuing a new development opportunity overseas. A different position might come your way, requiring you to take on more responsibility and broaden your experience and hone in on the skills that you've already got. If you're looking for work, search beyond your established field, broaden your horizons. Consider exploring outside of your region, neighbourhood, city or state. Look at jobs slightly beyond your comfort zone or skill level. It's asking you to stretch yourself and take more risk in your job search. Ones are the suit of achievement, drive, determination, and career and action. And here we see a person trying to decide between their familiar, if it's in a job, of what he's already got, and going out into the world to try something new. So a career change might give you more energy, so you feel much more positive about yourself. And if you're considering a new venture, then the Two of Wands proposes that partnership will probably be really beneficial at this stage. You might need a business partner. Finances, Two of Wands, it's about expanding your portfolio, particularly with overseas links. If you've been planning finances, decide where and how to invest. Two of Wands personality types, you can guess, can't you? They're visionaries, decisive, adventurous, bold, and they can peer beyond their backyard and see lots of opportunities, well, different angles and directions. And they're not afraid to take a risk or to pursue their vision by exploring new territories, but they frequently step outside their comfort zones to develop. They turn their ideas into action. The Two of Wands personality takes an initiative and creates growth for themselves. If it's a love reading, let's start with, if you're looking for love, the Two of Wands suggests you might find a potential partner if you widen your search expansion. Rather than merely searching for the same person you've dated in the past, seek fresh faces and different perspectives. Branch out and try and think of ways of meeting different people. If you're seeing someone, you might want to develop the relationship for it to grow, take it on to the next level. You might be discussing the possibilities of moving closer or moving in with each other, or moving to a different state or country or region to increase your commitment to each other, shall we say. And if your relationship is struggling, it may be asking you some questions whether it's time to leave it and explore opportunities elsewhere. If the relationship is a new one and you've invested very little, you're more inclined to look somewhere else for love, particularly if the relationship is not satisfying your decisions. And if you've committed a lot, the decision will be a little bit more complicated. So there's a little idea about that. Spiritually, if Two of Wands comes up in spiritual position, your spread, Two of Wands points that you are looking at different spiritual beliefs and synthesizing that knowledge. Partnering with another person on a similar quest may help you attain more enlightenment. And so some key words for Two of Wands is future planning, progress, decisions, and of course, discovery. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.